Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach. Welcome to the Q&A that I promised from last week. Thank you for everybody sending in questions. I have over 123 that I have not reviewed. I just was going to do this off the cuff and just roll with it. Hopefully a lot of the questions suck, but hopefully also a lot of them are good. I'll answer as many of them as I can. We have the Nyquil cold and flu, as I promised, right here, right now. I'm only battling a runny nose. That's the hardest thing, but because of my job working in the cold, like I explained in the last video, it's hard to get better. 100%. The runny nose really sucks. It runs a lot when you're sleeping and runs a lot when you're working, and it's just nasty and dirty. So tip it up. Um, First of all, thank you, Mr. Luke Cage out there, for my slammy that I should have won, but I stole it from you. Just like the nachos that you owe me. You will probably never see these again, so thank you for the slammy. I saw the other day that LV 454 put me in his 2012 YouTubers to watch list. I really appreciated that. I remember watching his list last year and actually subscribing to a lot of the people on that list. It was really cool that he gave everybody a description of why he liked these people, and it was actually pretty, I guess you could say, flattering for what he said about me. And yeah, he has podcast that a lot of people like that. If you don't know freaking Yay 88, also he's one of my best friends in the entire world. He makes videos, but every once in a while when I go to Access and I meet people that watch my videos, they say they have no idea. But me and him have been making 10, 11, 12 hour-long videos just discussing various topics. Head over there to freaking Yay 88. And uh, I don't know. That's probably all the shout-outs I can think of off the top of my head. But thank you for anybody who sent me any, I guess, words of encouragement for the last little while when I was having a hard time. But I really appreciate it. So let's get down to making the video. I'm going to be looking at my YouTube screen instead of the iMovie screen, so hopefully my head don't come out of range or anything. But here we go. First question. I'm not going to read the people's names. I'm just going to read the comments and answer. Who is your favorite wrestler when you were a child? That is easily Hulk Hogan. I think anybody from my era, they just WWF pumped Hogan down our throats, and that was who it is. When I watch 80s style wrestling now, I tend to watch a lot more tag team wrestling, like Strike Force, Demolition, the Killer Bees. That is what I love. Even though that Allied Forces DVD they came out with of past tag teams sucked. But anything else, when I watch an old pay-per-view or watch some old TV of anything out there, I always tend to like the tag team matches more than anything else. One person asked, "Why do you hate me?" I honestly don't know who you are. Bryan Danielson is my favorite wrestler. What are your thoughts on him becoming a world champion, main eventer, a wrestler, or just as a person? From watching the Wrestling Road Diaries documentary, I think Bryan Danielson is a great person, and I really respect him as a wrestler. When I saw him on NXT, maybe just the people talking about him on YouTube videos that I watched and people talking about him on Twitter really made me want to watch this guy, thinking he was something special. I went out and I purchased a homemade compilation. It was actually 12 discs of ROH matches and various other matches of his best work of his career. And I really drawed towards him. I think NXT, the season one, was very, very cool. I think that I know they had a TV deal at the time, but that was probably something that they should have just stopped with at one and moved on and created ECW after that, because when you look at NXT 2, 3, and 4, and whatever the hell they're on now, it just waters it down to the point that I really wish that there was a real NXT complete season 1 DVD that would come out, because there's a lot of great talent on there. I know a lot of people were moved towards watching a lot of different guys on that show. A few of the guys have gotten released since then. A few guys are on the point where they look like they should be released. I'm made no, everybody in the world knows that I was a Michael Tarver fan. I think they could have done something with that guy. Darren Young, I guess, still has a job, but I'm be surprised if he does. People tell me he's on NXT, but I have no clue what's going on there. But Danielson, back to the question, as a world champion, has not really gotten to me yet. Not that I'm not proud that he's a champion. It was a great moment when I found out that he was. I was really proud for him, but just hasn't personally sank in that he is a champion. And I don't even really think that he would be called the main eventer yet. But do you think Tyler Rex could beat Mark Jindrak if PWG was booking? That doesn't matter. My favorite promo of all time. Well, my favorite video package, I guess that's sort of like a promo, is WrestleMania 17, the Limp Bizkit Rock and Austin promo. I think that's one of the best promos of all time. I actually went out and I already had WrestleMania 17 on the anthology. I bought the DVD, the actual DVD, just for that promo. If you're talking about an actual wrestling promo, one promo that actually comes to mind is before the Mick Foley retirement, his first one when he fought Triple H. I believe it was at No Way Out in a Hell in the Cell, the last SmackDown before he gave a hell of a promo about his career and how he was going to beat Triple H. And if he didn't, he had so much to lose. That's one that always comes to my mind. If Kurt Angle came back to the WWE, would he have to? Would you have him? Who would you have him face? Jack Swagger. No, I would have him face all the guys that he faced in the past that are still around. I think anybody would want to see Angle have go rounds with anybody from Triple H to The Undertaker. If you really want to see him with the people of today, I think him and CM Punk have one hell of a Twitter war going on that people would love to see in the ring. As well as Danielson and anybody. Angle is the guy that you can put in the ring with almost anybody and have a good match. Kane is the guy that I don't really expect that much out of. When he gives me a good match, I'm really surprised. But there's a WrestleMania match between Angle and Kane that I think is really, really good. So I mean, the Angle's going to be good no matter who you put him with. I mean, he's going to turn shit into gold if he can. What would you rather have at WrestleMania 28? Jericho and Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship, or Jericho and Punk for the WWE Championship? Honestly, I'd rather have Jericho versus Punk. The problem that I have with that is that I think that the Jericho versus Punk match will be great. I think the feud will be shit. I just don't really see what you can get out of these two guys going back and forth at each other. Edge and Jericho was one hell of a match at WrestleMania 26, but the feud, besides the point that they handed the title over to Jack Swagger at the end, I never really got into it. Never really liked it all that much. I'm going to the WB Royal Rumble. Any sign ideas? Also FCW or OVW. I don't. I don't know. I don't really do signs that much, except for the High T Man. That's a classic with Luke Cage, and FCW or OVW. I don't think it really matters. That I not a really big fan of FCW. I think they pump out the same wrestler over and over and over again. I think that's why WWE has this problem right now where they have so many guys that got called up to the main roster that they don't know what to do with because they're all the same. They just keep on using the same cookie cutter thing that popped out, and well, Miz sort of came out of Deep South. But I mean, like a guy like Alex Riley came up and everybody thought was going to be the man, and then they just didn't have any ideas for him at all. What do you think about the band Nirvana? I honestly never liked Nirvana. When I was a kid, I love country music. I always have, but now I tend to like a lot of different kinds of music. I don't know every Nirvana song that's out there, but I can honestly say that the Nirvana songs that I hear on the radio are good. So you can call me a fair weather fan or something like that. What are your thoughts on Chris Jericho returning? I actually am not going to answer this because I was actually thinking about making my own video on this one topic right here because this seems to be the hardest shit going on. If you became a WWE wrestler, what tag team would you join? I guess I would tag with Cena because I'd want to be on top. Would Shane McMahon ever come back? I sure hope the hell he does. I was really hoping that he was going to be the whole video package guy that was coming back. Somebody on YouTube made that video saying that it should be Shane, and I was really behind it because the videos don't have anything to do with Jericho at all, and he didn't give us anything when he came back. How do you think about Sacramento building the new arena? I think it'll never happen, honestly. Do you think TNA is better than WB? I think at times they've had better TV, but they will never be better than WB as a whole. Will Vince ever buy TNA? He will buy the TNA library. He will never buy the actual company. I think that there will be a time that TNA is shown on the network or shown on demand, or at some point Vince will own every pay-per-view and every TV TNA's ever done. But no way in the world he's actually going to buy and actually put on Impact shows. Uh, who would you like to see come back more, Chris Jericho or Brock Lesnar? Jericho is the guy that I would love to come back over Brock Lesnar. I love Jericho as a wrestler. I love his promos. So that's who I'd pick. Lesnar. Guys going to UFC who lose, real fights and come back to do fake fights. I think you hurt your stock more than anything, and that's why I think Lesnar needs to take some time off and let these losses from UFC cool down. Let him get him off people's minds, and I think that that'd be better. There's a fun one. Fuck, marry, kill. Big Show, Mark Henry, and the Great Khali. Well, I know that I would marry the Big Show because he seems like somebody that I would want to live with. Mark Henry is one strong dude, so I would probably fuck that guy, I guess, and then kill the Great Khali because he never really got over at my house, and I'd probably be thinking of Ravi the whole time, or Assault and Battery 777. Sorry to kill kayfabe there. Will you ever do a blog TV like Luke Cage 29? I've done 2 blog TVs in my time. I did them a year apart. I did one summer, and I did one last summer, and I did have a lot of fun doing them. It's just a lot of I guess you can say stress because you're the only one talking and you have to carry on the whole conversation with 100 different people with the thing flying by. But it is a lot of fun. I did a Skype radio call that I sort of stole the idea from freaking EA88 because that's what he did on his, and that was a lot of fun. I got to talk to a lot of different people. The worst professional wrestler ever. I can't think of any off the top of my mind. The best professional wrestler ever would probably have to be Shawn Michaels, maybe. I think I'd put Shawn at the top of that list. Him or Kurt Angle. I mean, there's the 2 guys that you put out there, and it's gonna be really hard for them to have a bad match. Who did you first think was behind the It Begins promos? The first person I thought of was The Undertaker. I apologize that I think a lot of these questions are gonna be about the It Begins thing, but it took me a week to do this because I'm just doing a lot more stuff except for YouTube now. What do you like better, TNA or WWE in the Attitude Era? And how was your New Year's Eve? New Year's Eve, me and Peyton laid on the couch and we watched The Simpsons. And we listened to the fireworks go off because she was about to fall asleep, so I did not get her up. And that was our New Year's Eve. My wife had to work. She works the graveyard shift, so she left at 10:30. Didn't come home to 7:30. So it was not the best New Year's Eve, but stuff happens. And kids are small, so it's no big deal. I guess I'd have to say WWE in the Attitude Era because TNA wasn't around in the Attitude Era, so that part of the question doesn't make sense to me. FCW or TNA? TNA's on TV, so I'd pick that. Favorite WWE pay-per-view of all time is WrestleMania 17, hands down. I could watch that all day. What happened to the handlebars? There was no way in the world I was going to go to work like that. They probably would have sent me home the next day. But that was a dream that me and Assault and Battery 777 have. What type of laptop do you have? I have a MacBook. I think it's just a regular MacBook, but it's like a silver edition. Freaking A88 told me that it's like a limited edition run that they did for a while, and they canceled. But it's over 2 years old now, but it still runs like a champ, except for I'm having a lot of trouble with the charger, or the cord, I guess you can say. You have to bend it a certain way for it to make it want to plug in and charge, so that sort of sucks. But a new one's $60, and $60 is sort of hard to come by in this house right now, so I guess I'll have to just keep doing this one until it breaks. Is Luke a good dude? Honestly, Luke Cage is a really, really good guy. He's one of my best friends in the entire world. A little upset that he's not in on the Mania trip this year. He's a good guy to have around, and good guy to talk to. We just like to kick each other in the dirt sometimes, and sometimes when stuff gets out on Twitter, people think it's more real than it really is, so we like to play around like that sometimes. What YouTuber do you think will take your place when you leave? I don't really think it matters because I don't really have a place on YouTube. I just make videos, and thankfully people watch them. I don't think that I'm anything special. There's people out there with millions and millions of subscribers. I'm very grateful that I did hit 5,000 during my time away from making videos, but I really don't think that's an accomplishment that I would want on my tombstone or anything like that. But it was a lot of fun. Those were questions from my buddy Rockhopper Quest, so thank you very much. Hope you better, brother. Oh, this is just saying get better. Thank you very much. Can you please make another TNA DVD collection video? Yeah, I can do that because I have them on a new shelf now in my office. I sort of showed them off when I did my office tour, but I did not show you them one by one, so I can work that in. That'll be pretty easy. What is your favorite country without USA? The only other country that I've ever been to is Mexico, and that was a lot of fun. So I would say that one. I've been to Mexico twice. both times for about a week, so it was pretty cool. Can you make a SummerSlam anthology review? I can do that. I've done a review on the WrestleMania box. I've done a review on the Royal Rumble box, so I guess I can work a SummerSlam one in. Who, in your opinion, who is the best underused performer who has wrestled in the WWE? Well, you gave me an example. You said John Morrison. Honestly, I think John Morrison might be that guy. I'm really surprised that he got released, but then again, if you look at his actions over the last year with Melina running his mouth and him not trying to find a way to help her stop, running her mouth, and his actions at WrestleMania with Trish Stratus, which could go both ways. I mean, at one point, John needs to shut his mouth, but at the same point, they should be using the homegrown talent. But because I don't really think that anybody really bought WrestleMania because Trish Stratus came back. She didn't even really get a big pop at the Elimination Chamber when she returned for the first time. It really wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, I can understand them using Snooki. That definitely did bring some buys in, but Stratus didn't make sense. That was easily a spot that Kelly or Melina or any other of the girls could have filled. If you could redo any WWE show, what show would it be, and what matches would you make? That's a hard question. Um, I don't know. I can't think of a show off the top of my head, but I'm sure that if you change one main event to one show, you could bring a million buys to it. So I don't know. That's a tough one. If you're a wrestler, who would you face? Would you be heel? No. Would you be a face or heel? And what would your gimmick be? I would like to be called the Butcher because that's what I do for my job. And back in the 80s, every wrestler had to have a day job, and they wrestled at the nights. So I think it'd be pretty easy to come down in my work gear with some blood smeared on me. I could probably swing some knives around, and I think I would be a heel in that gimmick. And I think wrestling as a heel is 10 times easier than wrestling as a face because it's easy for somebody to hate you and get them to boo you instead of getting them to like you. I think that's 10 times harder than it is. What inspired you to make YouTube videos? Um, I don't know. I just got on here and I watched videos from people like Freaking Yeah 88 and Gemini 686 at the time. WVG 86 was another guy's videos that I watched. I didn't watch a lot of videos before I started making videos, but I was just making, I guess you can say, vlog videos, or I was just like showing my kids do things so I could post them onto Facebook. And then all of a sudden one day, another guy's videos that I used to watch was Bobby, who is what the heck is it? Is he whatever. He was WB Forever 98 or whatever. Most people know who Bobby is, but that was another guy's videos that I used to watch back in the day. But I watched one episode of Raw and I just flipped my lid and I went berserk on it. And that was one of my first YouTube videos about how stupid wrestling was this time. And just at that time when I was watching wrestling, I was watching it out of, I guess you can say it was out of pattern. And there's just what I had always done every Monday night, but I didn't really like it at the same point either. So it just, it was I just was growing to hate it. It was WrestleMania 26, going to it and just seeing it live is what sort of baptized me in the water and got me turned around and becoming more of a wrestling fan. It's actually starting to wear off a little bit to the point where TLC made me mad. I didn't like the booking. I didn't like Raw for a little while. And all I can say is I hope it gets better because right now I'm not really missing anything. But that was it. I mean, I just watched a couple of people's videos and I made one video. Some people watched it. Not a lot of people. It's hard to get started and get subscribers and viewers and stuff like that. But just by, I guess you can say by making connections and the right people watching them. It was freaking A88 told me on Skype one of the first times I ever talked to him. He asked me if I was going to keep making wrestling videos, and I said I didn't know. I said that, if stuff comes to me, I will. And he said that it's hard to start, but when you make videos consistently, that's when people will tend to see your videos more. You need to, you need to throw more at the wall, like throw darts at the wall until one sticks. And once one sticks, that's how you get started, I guess you can say. And that was some of the advice that Yaya gave me that I really liked. That's always really stuck with me, that I try to pass on to other people when they send me messages and stuff like that to how to get started. Did you buy the Stone Cold DVD yet? Yeah, I did. I've only watched the documentary. I haven't watched any of the matches yet. I just haven't had time. But I thought it was one of the best documentaries that they've done. I wouldn't really call it the best. One of the best documentary things they've ever done is Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen. I think it's really, really hard to top that one. I could watch that every day and I still love it. Have you matured into a grown adult yet? Honestly, I think you can say yes. I'm almost there. Maybe not 100% there yet, but I'm at the point now where uh, I'm going to go to WrestleMania, but I don't think I would go again. I'm at the point now where I'm going to miss my kids too much. And I love my wife, and it just takes way too much out to go to this, and I can see it now, and I don't know. I don't want to get too personal with you guys, but yeah, I think I have grown up. I have realized that I'm 30, and I can't keep acting like I'm 20, and that's about it. How many WWE games do you have? I don't have many. I'm way behind. I don't even think I have 2009 Raw yet, or whatever it's called, WWE 2009. Oh, it's called SmackDown vs. Raw. I'm a couple years behind. I had the video game on order, and then there was a point that I thought I was gonna buy an Xbox instead of a PlayStation 3, so I canceled my order to put off to see if I was gonna get an Xbox, and then I found out that I was broke, and I didn't get it, so that's why I haven't talked about the video game yet. My favorite year of WWE, man. It's hard to narrow down one year. 2002 was good. 2001 was good. 2000, 99, 98. They were on fire right there. Any of those years, I can't really name just one. That's tough. What's your favorite wrestling DVD from 2011? That would have to be the I call it the Mania of Mania, but I think it's called The True Story of WrestleMania. That came out just weeks before WrestleMania, and that got me more pumped than anything that was on Raw at the time. That was just an awesome DVD. I loved how they just set up every Mania from year to year, and the matches that they give you for the first time in Blu-ray were spectacular. That's one I think everybody should have. Uh, what wrestling merchandise do you consider to be your prized possession? Um, I don't know. I have some things that are my prized possessions just because of the story behind them. But I think that if you want a real um, prized possession that I don't think a lot of people have is this uh, WrestleMania plaque right here that I got autographed by, well, it came autographed by The Undertaker, and I got it autographed by Triple H. I wasn't able to get it in person. I had to send freaking 88. I bought him a ticket to go to Access at SummerSlam. It was actually the day I was driving down there, and just there was no way to match the times up in order to get down there. But it's signed by the both of them. I would bet it's the only one ever. I did a video on how to open up the plaque. So if you want to see it, there's other videos of it. It says Saturday the Knicks beat the Queens. Your thoughts? The Kings suck. I'm not gonna go into war over the Kings, but yeah, you beat us. What's your favorite match of all time? My favorite match of all time is Angle versus Shawn from WrestleMania. I'll always stick up for that match. It's one of the best ever. I can watch it all day, every day. It's great. I mean, it has everything. If you watch the match, Angle overpowers Shawn from the beginning, and Michaels is just doing everything he can do just to try to pull out a victory in there. And it's just, it's great. I think it's one of the best matches of all time. If you could choose any wrestler in the world to be behind the Raw promos, who would it be? I would have guessed The Undertaker. I knew it was Jericho, but Jericho just doesn't make sense with the promos, so that's what it doesn't make sense to me. If you were in a 5-on-5 Survivor Series match, who would your 4 partners be? I would pick. This is actually a really good question. Thank you. I can't even read your name. But I would pick Jack Swagger. I would pick. I guess I'd be one. So me, Swagger. I'd put Cena on my team. I'd take Daniel Bryan on my team to get a good submission guy. And then I would take Mark Henry just so he could fuck some people up. Just like Tugboat did in the 1990 Survivor Series when it took out Earthquake. Oh, that was great, the way they did that. Hey Steve, it's good to see you back on. My question is, do you think that is too stone? Oh, do I think it's too soon for Daniel Bryan to cash in the Money in the Bank? No, I honestly didn't understand why he didn't cash in at Vengeance when everybody was all laid out. When Big Show and Mark Henry went through the ring and they were laying there on the ground, it didn't make any sense for them not to even tease it at all, and I made a video about that, and then that's when they started. The teasing was after that. He did a promo in the back saying why he didn't do it, and it didn't make any sense. And then Big Show was talking him into doing it, so that got the ball rolling. But Vengeance was the time he should have done it. How did you start your DVD collection? How long did it take to make it to today? What happened was I used to buy just the Superstar DVDs and WrestleMania DVDs when they came out. I would buy those all the time from about 2001 on. I just started buying those. I wouldn't buy all the pay-per-views, but then Go Hastings had a hell of a sale when I was about to have a baby, and I was figuring that if we had a new baby, I wouldn't be going anywhere, so I needed something to watch. So I took $100 on Go Hastings when they were running a 20% off sale with free shipping, and I bought I don't remember, a lot of DVDs, maybe 20. I just bought a lot of the cheap ones. That I just went through and got all the ones that were $2, $3, and that's how you get started. I mean, it's not a lot of people think that on YouTube, if you have a big DVD collection, you're a big wrestling fan, but it honestly doesn't even cost that much to get your first, 20, 40 DVDs. You might only have to throw $100 in there or something like that. I mean, you go on eBay and you buy lots, you find the right ones, you can build a real quick DVD collection in a long time. And I've honestly stated that it doesn't really make sense for me to own some of these DVDs because I've never even watched them, but I will someday. I went on a quest where I was starting to watch one every day, but that stopped after a while. But that's really how it got started. Was I was gonna have a baby, so I went and I bought it all. Do you remember the night when Jim was too shy to talk to you? That was from freaking Yeah 88. Yes, I do remember. That's how I got introduced on Skype. I was a nobody, and what happened was the reason how I guess you can say the real shooters or the clique or whatever, freaking 88 and Gemini and Assault and Battery and Luke Cage, how they found out who I was I won a contest in order to go to WrestleMania. Gemini, who lives in the area near me, he doesn't live in the same town, he doesn't really live close, had made a video where he said he wanted to go to WrestleMania, but he didn't have a ticket and he couldn't go. Well, I was like, well, I won 2 tickets and I'm going by myself. It's not that far out of the way to go pick him up. So I started sending him messages that I was that if he wanted to come, I could come. It wasn't going to take long. All I was doing was driving there and driving back, so it wasn't like it was going to be that far out of the way. But I scared Gemini because he didn't know who I was, and he thought that I was going to cut his head off and bury his head in the desert. So he didn't respond, but I sent a note to freaking 88 saying the same thing, that I hadn't been able to hold to get a Gemini, but I had a free WrestleMania ticket and I wanted to give it to him because I knew from watching his videos that he was gonna go, and that I knew he was friends with Gemini from their videos, and I knew that yeah, was going. So worst case scenario is that he didn't have to stay with me or anything like that. Like he, all I was just gonna give him a ticket. All he had to do was really sit next to me. And I guess looking back, it's pretty stalkerish and pretty creepy what I did, but. I don't know. I can't change it, but anyways, he still turned me down. But that's how they figured out who I was. Yeah, subscribed to me, started watching my videos, and then gave me the advice that I was talking about earlier about just making more videos and people would watch them. And that's how that all got started. What are your thoughts on the cheesy enchilada flavored hamburger helper? I think cheesy enchilada is really good. I think I saw when I came in on the stove that there's a double cheese mac hamburger helper out there right now. One of my favorites right now is called it's called hash brown or something like that. Cheesy hash brown. It's like you basically make hash browns and the hamburger helper is in there. It's really really good. But that's about it. And then from Punk Fan 1997, are are you doing the same thing you did for WrestleMania 27 and go to WrestleMania with Luke Cage? Yeah, Salt and Battery, and Billy Paz, or are you going alone? Well, I'm going in a three-way deal. It's me, yeah, and Assault and Battery. We're going as a threesome. Luke Cage is going, but he's not going with us. He's going with one of our friends, Extreme Nick 29. Billy Paz is not going to be making the trip this year because he is a smart man, and he is going to stay home and uh, personal stuff edited out. But he's just he's a smart guy for not going. But he wants to be there, and he'll be in our heart. And I love all those guys, and they are my best friends out there, and they all know that. But we're gonna have fun, even though we will probably see Luke Cage for like 5 minutes the whole time. That's our constant joke that's going on. My thoughts on Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is a star that could draw money, but the whole time he's ever going to be involved in wrestling, I'm going to be worried about where his head's at. If he even wants to be there, if he's on drugs, this, that, or the other, and what's going down. I mean, he's got too many strikes against him. He was a great guy when I met him. I can say that he changed my opinion of him a little bit, but I'm always going to have that question in the back of my mind about where his head's at. Him and his brother Matt, are they doing what they want to do? Or are they doing it for the money? Is Jeff going to show up to the next show? I mean, there's a lot of questions about Jeff. Do you watch the NHL? I don't watch the NHL, but I love Olympic hockey for some reason. I love Team USA. I watch all their, I guess they're called matches or games in hockey, but I just can't get. Every year I watch the Olympics when they come around. I say, I'm gonna start watching the NHL, and I just never do. I don't know why, but I love Olympic hockey. When you first started on YouTube, did you ever think you'd get as big as people like Yaya or Jim? No, I didn't think I mattered. I still don't think I matter. When I tell people that I make YouTube videos, like at work and stuff, I tell them that I have no idea why people watch my videos. But that's about it. Uh, Welcome back. First, please give me a shout out and your thoughts on Drew McIntyre and your top three stunners. Drew McIntyre is a guy that I think has talent, bores the shit out of me, and I don't think he'll ever get over. I don't think somebody's ever, been stuck at superstars for so long and just came back. So if I was Drew McIntyre, I'd be to that point where I was looking for my release papers sooner than later. I don't think he's ever just gonna come back all of a sudden and be a main guy. I think the shit hit the fan with him and Tiffany. He had that big storyline. You can think going into Elimination Chamber with him and Kelly that just sort of dissolved into nothing. That I think it was pretty sure it was freaking 88 talked to him about it, and he said that Tiffany didn't want him doing the guy girl stuff, and he probably had to go to the office and ask him to stop, and they didn't like it, and that's probably why he didn't get to go anywhere from there. I can't think of three stunners, but my favorite stunner has to be Scott Hall at WrestleMania. That's one of the best of all time. Who do you think will win the Rumble? Orton, I still think is a guy in the back of my mind that could win the Rumble. The Rumble's not a hard match. You just have to go in there. You don't even really have to take any bumps. So if you just give him a late number, he doesn't have to be in there a lot long. He can still win in the hometown. They don't really have to mess up any of their plans for Mania. And that's probably what will happen. You don't even have to use him right away after the Rumble. You could probably put him in another injury angle right after the Rumble and keep him out as long as you can to get him to WrestleMania. Uh, what did you get for Christmas? I got some gift cards. I got a wrestling ring thing that I play with me and Peyton that's sort of like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. And I got a family subscription to membership to the zoo. That's probably the best thing that I got. That's what comes to my mind. But Christmas was more for the kids this year, and I was grateful that I got what I got. But the kids smiling was all that really matters to me. Do you think the It Begins promo is either Jericho or Lesnar? I knew it was Jericho the whole time, even though I was hoping for somebody else. My predictions on the It Begins promos were always Jericho. If you can come back in time and go to any wrestling event, what would you go to? I would love it if I could have gone to WrestleMania 17, one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. I lived in Atlanta at the time. It was in Houston, and I had plans to go, but I had never planned a trip on my own. I don't think anything would have stopped me. I had the money to do it. I just was scared that, what if this happened or what if that happened? And it would have been easy to do, just I didn't know what to do. So I wish I would have. Who is your favorite wrestler that you've ever met? Um, I was really surprised by how cool Edge was. Second time that I met him in his career, or the first time. He's actually the first wrestler that I ever met. But that was a long time ago. That was like in '99 or 2000. I met him. Won some tickets to go to Raw in Atlanta. I met him at a car dealership. But I really didn't care at the time. Edge and Christian were sort of nobodies. I think they might even been tag champs at the time, but they autographed a piece of paper for me, like the WWF paper, and I just sort of threw it away because I said that they'd probably never amount to anything. But the Edge was really, really cool. It made fun of my Jack Swagger T-shirt, and I thought that was really cool. Of the three, would you rather see Jericho, Brock, or Jeff Hardy return and have another WWE run? Um, I'd love to see Jericho over those guys. I think Brock will come in, have a short run here or there. He might just have one match. I don't really see him doing a whole bunch. Jeff Hardy, like I said, you have to worry about where his head's at the whole time. But Jericho is always going to give you good promos, good matches. It's always a guarantee. So definitely bring Jericho back. How would you rate WWE in 2011? I think that it started strong, sort of picked up in the middle, and then the whole CM Punk Triple H COO storyline killed it, and I don't think they could revive it. Hopefully, 2012 they can start fresh and move on. What are your thoughts on Brock Lesnar's retirement? Uh, he's already lost 2 fights. I don't understand why you want to put him out there and lose another one, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. If you could meet anybody in the world, who would it be? I'd probably want to meet somebody really, really big and famous, like a president or something like that. Something that you can actually tell normal people about and they would care. Um, Maybe George Bush, the first or the second, doesn't really matter. I'd probably meet one of those guys. That's something you could tell everybody, and everybody would care no matter who you met. What do you think about WB in 2006? WB in 2006, I remember DX and the Spirit Squad and it going downhill very, very fast week after week. It's sucking a little bit more. That's about all that I do remember. I think there is some cool stuff, but I think the shitty stuff outweighs it more than anything. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you like Rey Mysterio and how do you want to see him? Who do you want to see him face at WrestleMania? I put Mysterio like at a 2. Uh, Very rarely does he surprise me. He's had good matches with CM Punk at WrestleManias. He had a good match with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania last year. That surprised me, but week after week on Raw or SmackDown on pay-per-views, I just I just don't care for the guy. I just never have, and I never will. Sure, he's a Hall of Fame wrestler. I've said the same thing about Kane. There's a day when he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's a great wrestler. He's well respected. I give Mysterio respect. I give Kane respect, but I just don't like him. And the sooner I don't see him anymore, um, is better for me. Who do you think is taking over the YWC in 2012? I don't think it matters. I think just people will make videos and people will watch them. I don't think we have a leader or anything like that. What do you think of Jimmer playing for the Kings? I think the Jimmer's gonna be a good player. I think he needs to find his role. When I've watched the games that they've played so far, he doesn't really look like he knows what he's doing yet. But he is a rookie. He's new to the league. He needs to find his role. Hopefully, he's not going to be a guy like Adam Morris or Morrison. Morrison. What the heck is that guy's name? The guy who went to Gonzaga. That Morrison, or they have the guy JJ Redick who plays for the Magic. Those are the two guys that I thought of when he first got drafted. Two guys that had good college careers, could shoot from anywhere on the floor, but that doesn't really relate in the NBA that well. So I wish him the best. Hopefully, especially that he plays for the Kings, but he needs to really figure out what he's doing before he's out there. And then with Westfall and then the new coach coming in, it's gonna be a big transition for him. I don't know how much the offense is gonna change, but hopefully he can open up more because right now it sucks. Jack Swagger is still the man. Let's see what this question is. This guy's just telling me to get better. All right, your broken left foot, Triple H guy, 2004. Hope it gets better too. Hopefully, it says, what do you see in the Miz's future? I honestly see a Miz face turn, and I think it really could work, even though for his size, I think that the fans that he has as a heel, I think they would carry over to him being a face. and especially with Jericho coming back. I'm not saying that I wanted to see Miz versus Jericho, but hopefully that's the guy. I think the Jericho will go heel, and maybe that'll open up a slot for the Miz to slide over. Because since Money in the Bank, when he came running down there and the people cheered him after he took that bad spot and he made the comeback, I thought that was the start of something. And then even at the Raw after SummerSlam, when he did the Jared promo with Subway when he first started it, I thought that was going to be the start of a face turn, and then I think he beat the hell out of Jared or something like that. I don't really remember. Who do you think is returning on Raw this Monday? Jericho. What is your favorite storyline in the WWE the past 9 years? Can't think of anything off the top of my head. Favorite storyline. Well, actually, I was thinking about this the other day. One of my favorite storylines didn't have a great payoff or anything like that. And I don't know, the whole JBL and Shawn Michaels deal. That was really really good writing. I don't know if it really paid off that people cared about it like with ratings or anything like that, but I always really liked it that Michaels had to lose or Michaels had to help JBL win or cheat, give up his spots in tournaments and stuff like that. I thought that was a really really good storyline, and the way it paid off when he finally just said I don't care and he beat the hell out of JBL in the at the end was really really good. I really really liked that storyline. Do you think Daniel Bryan's title reign will be like Jack Swagger's title reign? Seriously, yes, I do. I think his first reign will end, and I think he'll be stuck in that mid card. Hopefully, he can stay in the mid card, unlike Swagger, who's fallen way down, who's had his looks like he was gonna go back up, but just never really did. But I'm not expecting much. WWE never really gives you a whole lot with your first run. You have to go back to somebody like Brock Lesnar, whose first run really, really mattered. Everybody else, they sort of make it look like a joke with your first time in the belt, and then they'll work with you after that if they can make any money out of you. My favorite candy is probably Reese's Cups. I could eat those all day, every day. What was the first wrestling show you went to? The first wrestling show I went to was some Superstars tapings in Sacramento. No, I went to a house show when I was really, really young that I don't really remember. Remember going to it, getting in the car, not knowing what I was going to see, and then when I found out it was a wrestling show, really, really being cool. Remember being mad that it was a mom who brought her kid and me, and she only bought her kid a promo. I remember being mad about that on the way home that I didn't have a program to read. But more than anything, I remember her booing some no, cheering for some jobber after he lost the match and saying that she was cheering for him because nobody else was. Remember seeing Jake the Snake and his snake for the first time, and that just being like, whoa, this is really real. But that was the first wrestling show that I went to. I can't remember anything other than everything I told you right there, but that was the first wrestling show that I ever went to. Um, uh, so what happened to everyone not posting new wrestling videos? Oh, I guess I just got tired and just didn't want to do them anymore. What was your favorite wrestler to meet and why? Edge was a real cool guy to meet. I think I just answered this, and he just was cool. I've met him twice, and both times he was the same guy. One time was when he was first starting out. Another time when he was retired, and he didn't change. He just was the same guy, and that was the one thing I always accepted about him. Do you see TNA going out of business in 2012? No, I think TNA will be like a cockroach that will go on forever. So for when they were first created in 2002, people thought they would go out of business in 6 weeks or 6 months, and they're still here going strong. And all it'll take is one thing to turn that business around, and someday they'll figure out what it is. I think I already answered what my thoughts on Luke Cage were. He's a real good guy. Really consider him a real good friend. Do you think Dolph Ziggler could be a huge star in 2012? Yes. I mean, it looks like he's going to be in one of the main events, the Royal Rumble, against CM Punk. I'm not sure that they'll put the title on him this soon, but he's had a lot of talent for a long time, and I think a lot of people notice that he puts on one of the best matches no matter where he's at. Do you think Cody Rhodes or Wade Barrett will be champion in 2012? If I had to put money on it, I would say that neither of those guys would be champions. There's a chance that one of them could become champions, but Wade Barrett is a guy that I don't know what holds this guy back. He has the talent, he can speak, he can talk, he looks good in the ring, he's got size, which is the one thing that matters in WWE more than anything else. But if they were going to do anything with him, they would have done it in 2011 when he was with Cena, he was with Nexus, and he was on top. They didn't want to do it then. I don't know why they would want to do it now. It seems like they kept on putting the brakes on Wade time after time after time. So I'm hoping that it'll come true. Cody's probably one of the most improved guys this last year. Um, but it'll come around for him, but I'm not sure it's going to happen this year. Are you going to turn heel and come back at WrestleMania 28? No. Do you think Punk will stay champ through WrestleMania? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think that he'll fight Jericho, and I think he'll have the championship. I'm not real sure that they're going to give Punk a big moment of winning the belt at Mania like they did at Survivor Series. So I think he will be champion going in to WrestleMania. I think that it is the one thing holding Raw together is him being the champion right now. If Assault and Battery and Luke Cage broke into your house to steal your wrestling collection and you caught them, what would you do? I would probably pour them a bowl of cereal and we could sit down and we could talk about it at the table. Your favorite tag team of all time is Demolition. Those guys kicked ass. Uh, what WWE match would you like to see on Raw in 2012? I bet you're looking forward to the NFL playoffs. I don't know. I'll watch anything on Raw, just as long as it's on there. Uh, just put Swagger in the main event more often. You got 2 times in the last 2 weeks. That's awesome. The 49ers. The 49ers are going to play the Saints next week on Saturday. The Saints are a damn good team. It's going to take everything that they have to beat these guys. They don't have any playoff experience. The Saints have playoff experience and Super Bowl experience. They're a team that knows they let down last year. So the Saints are going to be one hell of a team to beat next week. So it's going to be tough. That's all I can say. My favorite match of 2011. Oh, that's easy. Undertaker and Triple H in WrestleMania. That was a damn good match. Do you think The Miz will be champion in 2012? Yes, The Miz has to be on top. But your thoughts on Dolph Ziggler and what he has to offer in 2012? Just sort of did this one, but I think he is a real talent. I think that it is noticed, and I think that him doing the back-to-back pay-per-views, working 2 matches, was sort of like the tip-off to tell everybody else that this guy has it, and he's gonna be there soon. TLC was awesome, and why didn't you like it? The pay per view might have been good, but the whole build up to the pay per view, just Raw week after week, just sort of sucked to me. They didn't give us anything with Triple H and Nash. They just sort of booked the match. They had Nash one week, they had Triple H the next, and just nothing together. There was no clash for it. They didn't get my money for a reason. I just wasn't feeling it. What is the greatest former Intercontinental Champion that never won the WWE title? Hunky Tonk Man comes to mind. Um, he was a damn good champ, and he was the guy that held the belt, and he won his matches, but he got his ass kicked all the time. I think that's the one reason why I like him so much. Mr. Perfect was another Intercontinental Champion. Damn. That's a tough question. That's Y2J 316 HBK. Damn good question. But I'm gonna have to go Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect's one of my favorite wrestlers out there. Always put on a good match. Like I said, no matter where he was on the card, and he never got a chance. He had that long run with Hogan that was only on Saturday night's main events and house shows. Never got to put it on a pay-per-view. But Perfect was the man. If you could make one change in WWE, what would it be? Put me on the roster. Uh, how to make the WWE commentary team better. Just turn Cole. Let's drop the whole Cole storyline. Just make Cole a normal announcer. He was at the point where I didn't even notice that JR wasn't there anymore. Him and King were starting to click. And then they started the whole Miz is the man storyline, which related into Daniel Bryan has no talent, which just rolled into I hate JR. And it's just been downhill ever since. And I thought it was over. Cole came out there and apologized to the Lawler, and he said he wanted to work with him again. And then they brought back JR, and it just went to hell again. And I listen to the Wrestling Observer Radio a lot, and I just can't wrap my head around with the stuff they say. It doesn't make sense. If you had a new viewer view wrestling for the first time, you had a guy like Michael Cole out there telling everybody that these guys are horrible. Why would you want to watch people that they're telling you is horrible? Why would they that have no talent, they can't get over? It just doesn't make sense. You just make Michael Cole normal. Just bring him out there and just act like nothing happened, and just have him be a normal announcer again. I think that's the best thing you can do. What was the most funny WB or WWF wrestler or diva to meet, and who was the shittiest one? The shittiest one was Mark Henry, um, just because he didn't even really acknowledge that I was there. When I got to meet Alicia Fox, I got to talk to her about ECW and how she didn't think that anybody ever watched that show. And I told her that ECW was one of my favorite TV shows. It was only a picture thing, it wasn't an autograph thing, but Alicia Fox was pretty funny to meet because I got to tell her about ECW. You know what? Honestly, how long is this video? This video is 50 minutes. I have like 10 or 15, 20 questions. I'm just at the point now where I just think I'm dragging on to the point I don't want to do the video anymore. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to bookmark where I was, and I'll make a part 2. But thank you, everybody, for viewing my video, and hope to see more videos soon. Thank you very much.